Okay, so Everton are officially going into a brand new era. Last season, they survived in the Premier League under a resurgent David Moyes and are now moving into a brand new stadium after signing a bunch of star wonderkids as well. It is certainly an exciting time to be an Everton fan. So of course here on Football Manager in an updated database, we're going to be using realistic David Moyes tactics and transfers that Everton have already made, as well as a few they're linked to in real life, to see if we can turn Everton from a lower mid-table club into a Champions League team in just 2 seasons. So grab yourself some popcorn and let's turn Everton into a top tier side once again. And here we are then on Football Manager already with Everton sitting in 13th place after a resurgent David Moyes season, as mentioned at the start of the video. Now today on Football Manager, we're going to be having a very fun time because I have built myself some realistic David Moyes tactics and I'm seeing if I can take Everton to a Champions League side. If you like the sound of that, make sure you're smashing the like button on the video. Now I've got some transfers to do before we fully finish off this Everton team. They're still linked to a bunch of brand new players, but they've already made some incredibly exciting moves. None other than exciting striker Tierno Barry, signed from Villarreal. For me, this is a brilliant signing. I would take him at Manchester United right now. That's how good I think he is. He's 6'5". He's got great speed and he loves to finish a ball. Last season at Villarreal was incredible in front of goal, and I think Everton have got himself an absolute star here already in the transfer window, and there's more as well, as literally in the last 24 hours it looks like Adam Asnou has had his medical completed from his move from Bayern Munich. A fantastic attacking young left back. I won't be lying here, I know him a lot more from Football Manager than I do in real life, but it's a fantastic signing that Everton fans really can be excited for. And I think them two signings straight away make a big difference into this Everton side. Now, there are many links to more players, and today we'll be going full realistic and trying to make them signings. So before I go for the tactic and before I really get started in this rebuild, let's make them real life signings and see who else we can bring in. Now, the other player that they are heavily linked to in recent days is Malik Fofana from Lyon, and I brought him in here to Everton for £25 million. He is 19 years of age, he has elite potential, and is a very exciting signing if Everton can pull it off. But there is more wingers coming into the club, as this seems to be a massive area they need to improve. So I've also signed Takefusa Kubo. Yes, they are heavily linked to the Japanese winger from Real Sociedad, and if they make this signing, it's a fantastic one. Going into a new era with Malik Fofana and Takefusa Kubo, I mean, that would be a real statement of intent from Everton, and I think it's something they are very likely to do. Now, I have also signed Tom Fellows from West Brom because I understand that one of them deals might not happen. They could get all 3 though, because they really need winger reinforcements, especially playing a 4-2-3-1. The only notable player really is Dwight McNeil. So Tom Fellows has also came in, and I think is a fantastic signing after ripping up in the Championship last season at West Brom, is someone they are also heavily linked to. Moving into the midfield, I brought in Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester. He has a release clause of just £9 million and is heavily linked to Everton. I think he's a great rotation option with Garner Gay and James Garner, and I think it's a signing that would make a lot of sense. And finally, I've made one more centre-back signing in Maxime Esteve coming in from Burnley. It's a bit of a deal that I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but given the statement of intent Everton look to be doing in this window, it wouldn't surprise me if they went and got one of the Championship's best centre-backs this season. Maxime Esteve coming in from Burnley. Obviously, they have been promoted, unlikely to let go of their star man, but again, there's been lots of links. £27 million is what it has cost to get him in, and if they get him in, well, it's a fantastic piece of business for Everton. Now, I have slightly altered the formation because I believe that Everton will progress slightly more as a team rather than being a bit more of a pragmatic side. Now, this tactic and the rebuild file with these transfers in and the end rebuild file, where hopefully I've made Everton a Champions League club, will all be available on the Patreon down below. You'll be able to buy just this file for £3, or you'll be able to buy everything we have on the Patreon for offer every single month at just £5 a month, and it helps helps support me as a creator so much. The more of you that help support over there, the quicker we can hopefully become a full-time creator here on Football Manager. So if you want to help out support in any way, that is the best way to go and do it. But of course, you need to see what this tactic can do. So let's go through it first of all. Jordan Pickford in goal, a simple sweeper keeper on support. Our fullbacks, number one on the right, I've got Nathan Patterson starting here, fullback on support, cross from byline and stay wider, with Adam Asnu as the starter, most likely rotating with Mikalenko quite a lot. We've got him on cross from byline and stay wider also. I've got two central defenders on defend, one with stay wider and one with mark tighter, that being Esteve, the left-footed centre-back, and Branthwaite on the right. Jimmy Garner, a DM on support on the right-hand side, take more risks and get further forward. If you know anything about me, you know I love James Garner. I have tipped him for about 4 years now to be a starter in the England team for the 2026 World Cup. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I still think there's a good chance he gets in the squad though, because I fully believe he is an unbelievable midfielder, and I personally would take him purely based on starter current ability to play in that England midfield. Idrissa Gana Gueye is the man next to him with a brand new contract, a ball-winning midfielder on defend with Mark Tighter. On the right-hand side, Takafuse Kubo takes up an inverted winger on attack role, cross from deep and sit narrower. On the left-hand side, Malik Fofana, winger on support, getting further forward. In the cam role, Iliman Ndiaye as the central attack midfielder, take more risks, roam from position, and move into channels. There's another cam they have signed, and we'll touch on him in just a second. Up front, I have moved Tiana Barry to an advanced forward on attack because of his pure size. He will be used as a hold-up striker anyway, so rather than have him as a target forward to get some better results, I've gone with the advanced forward up front, shoot more often and tackle harder. Now, I have mentioned there is some more players in this team that Everton have signed. Backup goalkeeper Mark Travers has joined from Bournemouth, and it's going to be a very good backup. Seamus Coleman, James Tarkowski, Jake O'Brien and Mikalenko make a much better backup defence than Everton have had in recent years. In the DM positions, Wilfred Ndidi and Tim Begum come into the defensive midfield roles. Dwight McNeil comes in on the left-hand side, and Carlos Alcaraz in the cam role. Signed from Southampton, a fantastic young central attack midfielder and was a real shining light for Southampton last season. Could be a great player in this Everton side. Tom Fellows, of course, as another winger joining the club. And of course, Big Beto up front. Very overpowered on FM, but I want to see Tiana Barry up front. But I think it's safe to say this team would survive in the Premier League, and that's the backup team. So the starting team, I would like to say, will get mid-table football, and that would be a big dub for this season. And then next season, hopefully go on to challenge for a European spot. Now that would be a massive, massive win. If I can ask another massive favour from you guys, if you have enjoyed so far the video and enjoy the realistic rebuilds here on the channel, over 75% of you that are watching right now are not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button and smash a like on the video. First of all though, let's start off this season and see how we get on to kick off the first couple of months. Now we are going to kick things off here with a game against Fulham, a team that if we want to challenge for European places, we're going to have to beat. Straight away you can see the hold-up ability of Tiana Barry and the finishing ability of Fofana in this game. The first goal coming with Barry linking it up with Fofana, and the second time Fofana linking it up with Barry. Having a 6'5" striker, it's like the old Everton days of Big Dunk. First up then, a ball whipped in, Fofana takes a shot and it falls to Kubo for 3-0 in 27 minutes. And that was 4 in the first half. Fofana and Gana Gueye linking up. Fofana once again finding Barry in the box, turns and puts it in to the top corner. Everton fans, if this happens in real life, well, it's going to be an absolute joke. Ben Yedder scores from the spot for Fulham to make it 4-1, and we are going to come away with a fifth and final goal in this game. And don't worry, yes, it's a Tiana Barry hat-trick in August. Everton, if this happened, you'll be absolutely buzzing. And I will be too, because he's actually my hot tip for FPL as a starting striker on a little bit of a budget. So I'll certainly take that. But that was about as good as it got in the month of August, which is understandable. We faced up against Chelsea, who I think are a top 4 favourite for this year in the Premier League. Then faced up against Liverpool and drew 1-1, and Tiana Barry scored. And then faced up against Arsenal away at the Emirates. And despite Tiana Barry grabbing another 2 goals, we lost this game 5-2. So understandably, we're sitting down in 12th, only 4 points, 1 draw against Liverpool, a victory against Fulham. But Tiana Barry, second top goal scorer. I mean, that's not bad at all. And if you did see in the Carabao Cup as well, we managed to face up against Barrow and we beat them 6-0. We played the first team. Probably shouldn't have done that because I feel a bit bad about that. A Bramthwaite brace, a Fofana goal, a Barry goal, a Ghana goal, and a Take Fuse Kubo goal. And we are sitting pretty. The new signings are doing very well at integrating into the team. But how will things look at the midway point in the season? Well, actually, things aren't going very well at all. And I've brought us back on the 31st of October because we're bottom of the league. We've not won a game since then. We lost 1-0 to Leeds, 1-0 to Spurs, 2-1 to Burnley, 3-1 to Bournemouth, 2-1 to Newcastle, and drew to Forest. And we've just got out in the Carabao Cup to Forest as well. Yeah, we're bottom of the league, but we're with Newcastle, so we're in good company. But things aren't going well. And I don't know why. The tactic, I think, is actually quite good. I have altered it very slightly, and the final variation of the tactic is what will go up on Patreon. Kubo is inverted winger on support now, and Fofana getting further forward as a winger on attack. Yeah, things aren't going great. In terms of possession, initially we started off with more direct and dropped it down to now slightly shorter. I have sort of come back from holiday on this date and attempted to change things. So we'll see if my tactical genius will pay off. But you can see it's a very realistic David Moyes way. We're not exactly countering. We're not really counter-pressing too much. Well, we are countering, sorry, but not counter-pressing. The high press is there in the mid-block while having a standard defensive line. He doesn't play like, exciting football. I'm a United fan. I don't really like David Moyes very much, I'll be honest. And I was very shocked at the appointment when Everton did it because to go into a brand new era, I thought they'd have someone a bit more exciting. But I understand it's actually worked out quite well. It's worked out better than West Ham getting Graham Potter, that's for sure. So, yeah, we'll see with Everton. And again, Everton play United in the Premier League Summer Series very soon as well. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. But yeah, so far not going very well. We're actually bottom of the table. And as I've said, this challenge is only going to be 2 seasons long. And I expect to be a Champions League side. Now, lucky enough for us, things did start to slowly pick up. And we got ourselves off the foot of the table. And we even beat Manchester City in this game. Despite Reindeers scoring to make it 1-0, the big man Siono Barry made it 1-1 in the 55th. And in the 60th, we bounced back again. Kubo, a great goal on that left foot. The form since we last picked up was ropey in November, but we then had that Manchester City victory, then beat Brentford and Brighton, lost to Sheffield United, but drew to Manchester United, lost to Liverpool at Anfield, which is sad, but then beat Chelsea, drew to Arsenal, lost to Fulham, beat Bristol City in the FA Cup 4th round, so we could be going on a run there, and then lost to Leeds, Tottenham, Burnley, and Bournemouth. So we are sitting 16th place in the Premier League, which I totally understand is not good enough. I don't know why though. I do genuinely think this Everton team isn't that bad. I think FM might slightly underrate a few players here and there. Iliwan and Dye, I think, is a top tier talent in real life. The DM partnership of Guay and Garner, I think, is really good. I think the defence is quite good. And I do think Fofana, Kubo and Barry is potentially a Europa League attack. I mean, even in Dye in there, something's just not quite working. And it might be that we need to get to the summer and have a look at some other transfers to bring in. I don't want to just make this a full transfer, absolute bonanza. I am going to try and keep things realistic, and that will be bringing in some young players again to go with this new era. But it's not been all sunshine and rainbows, that's for sure. So we are going to quickly wrap up that first season, and it actually finished on a very high note. We finished in 12th place in the Premier League in the end on 44 points. So less points, but a better position than Everton finished in this season. But what I'm excited by is the end to the season. We beat Forest 4-1, Palace 2-0, drew to Wolves, beat Villa, beat West Ham, lost to City, beat Brentford, Newcastle, lost to Brighton, beat Sheffield United and lost to Manchester United. And it looks like the players are finally learning the system a little bit. There's a lot of orange lines everywhere, a lot of broken orange lines everywhere as well, which isn't good. But I think a full summer, learning the tactic and becoming a bit of a better squad could be massive, because I'm going to make a few signings, as I've said, but I'm not going to go crazy. I genuinely think the youthfulness of this new Everton side and some of the star players here is genuinely good enough. And at the end of the season, finishing in 12th place with fifth round of the FA Cup and 4th round of the Carabao Cup, it's not an awful season. It's about where Everton have been in the last few seasons, but with a younger, more promising squad. So let me see what I can do for this summer. And if I need to do an extra season to get us in the Champions League, well, I will do that. But first of all, Let's see if we can rebuild the squad this summer. First up, some outgoings. Jake O'Brien and Beto have both left the club, as well as Yusuf Shamiti, Isaac Keefe and George Morgan. Now for the incomings. Young Spanish centre-back Javi Rodriguez brought in from Celta Vigo as our 4th choice centre-back. Andy Diouf joins the club from RC Lens, a player that's joined them after moving from Basel and looks fantastic. This guy has cost me just £11.25 million, just up to 7 average rating in France, and seems like a player that could easily come to the Premier League. He's got the physicality, he's 6'2", he's quick, he's strong, he's big, and I think he'll be absolutely fantastic. Next up, the backup striker to Tierno Barry is going to be Emmanuel Omega. He has hardly developed at Strasbourg after scoring 9 goals in 30 games. I picked him up for just £12.5 million before he blows up and becomes a top tier striker. It's an absolute bargain. He's got 16 heading, great pace, and is also 6'5". So if Barry gets injured, we've got Omega to come straight into that first team. And my final signing, it's a big one. I brought in Michael Coyote from Brentford, an attacking young right back, because Nathan Patterson simply isn't cutting it. But that is all I've done in transfers. A backup striker, a backup centre-back, and then a starting right-back and a starting defensive midfielder. And I've made it to be this team. Hopefully, Coyote and Kubo can have a much better relationship down that right-hand side. Pickford, Esteve and Braithwaite, they just need to gel a little bit more as a team. Asnu at left-back and Fofana at left wing, again, just need to gel. Diouf and Garner, I think, is a fantastic midfield partnership. And over the next 2 or 3 seasons, if you pick this save file up on Patreon, I genuinely think we'll go on to be a Champions League winning midfield. And the front four, again, I really like it. Ndiaye, maybe not quite as good an FM as he should be, but will be very good in that cam role. Kubo and Fofana will develop very well. And Barry up front, well, he just scored 20 goals last season in all competitions. So I think he's going to do something very similar. If not, Omega, backup striker, brilliant. McNeil and Tom Fallows still as the 2 backup wingers, and Alcaraz and Ndiaye rotating in the cam roles. In defence midfield, we've got Gay and Ndidi backing up Diouf and Garner. At right back, Patterson, Coyote. Centre back, Tarkovsky, Braithwaite, Javi Rodriguez and Estevez. And left back, Mikalenko and Asnu. In goal, Pickford and Travers. And again, for me, that backup 11 is more than good enough to finish 15th, 14th in the Premier League. It's just about the young players developing in the first team to be Europa League, Champions League level players. Now, as I've said, this rebuild now is not going to finish until we're a Champions League side. So if we don't do it in this season, we'll go again in the transfer market and make them a Champions League side. But I think there's a chance we do it this year. FA Cup and Carabao Cup, of course, we are both in. And in terms of the Premier League, we are predicted 16th place. But we are very close to the top 12. And top 8 is only a few bits away. It's a little bit more away than I'd like to admit. But we'll get there eventually. Let's get into it and see if we can turn this Everton side into a Champions League side. Now, in the month of August, once again, we were dealt a very difficult set of games. None other than Liverpool away from home. And Jared Bowen in 6 minutes gets them off to an early lead. But at Anfield, this Everton side wanted to upset the odds. A Tierno Barry goal kicks us off in just 10 minutes. Malik Fofana then down the left-hand side spins his man with electric speed and finds McNeil in the middle to make it 2-1. But Liverpool, they're still quite a good side. Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, who both won't be here at this point in real life, both a link up to get the score sheet to make it 2-2 in 60 minutes. But in the 85th minute, Mikalenko finds Adam Asnu back to Mikalenko to Garner to find Alcaraz in the box. We didn't see him much in the first season, but my God, have we just seen him in the second season. An absolute screamer to find the top corner and send Everton 3 points against Liverpool. And that was in it for the first start of the season. We drew to Manchester United with a 93rd minute equaliser from Mikalenko and beat West Brom 6-4 in a mental game and then lost 3-0 to Manchester City. But overall, a pretty decent start. And there was more crazy games and crazy results on the way as well, as this time away from home at Stamford Bridge, we're going to have a simply crazy, crazy game. An early goal going in from Iliman Ndiaye, but Chelsea come back literally 2 minutes later. It is the 9th minute in this game as João Felix, who was also leaving the club to join Al Nassr, does score to make it 1-1. But past that, we were just absolutely dominant. James Garner, that on-rushing midfielder, eventually finds the ball through to Takefusa Kubo to make this game 2-1 and give us the lead. We are going to score again, remember, away from home in the 22nd minute to make it 3-1. A great ball from Kubo finds Ndiaye and an owned goal from Badiashile, and then a fourth straight after half-time. Brentwaite finds McNeil in the middle, ball in the line, Mikalenko drives past his man, whips it in, and who's there but Big Barry to make it 4-1. Chelsea are going to grab another goal back though. Cole Palmer on the right-hand side sets it back to Reece James into Enzo Fernandez. A great ball to Nkunku, who is also leaving the club, to score to make it 4-2. And then we go on a mission. Adam Asnou scored 2 late goals in this game to make it 6-2 to Everton away at Stamford Bridge. And a reminder, we beat Liverpool 3-2 away at Anfield as well. So, as I sort of guessed, progression was going to be everything for this season, as we come away as winners once again away from home. And the season really is going about as well as I could expect. We are currently sitting in the semi-finals against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and we are sitting 8th place in the Premier League in a much better position than we were last year, on 28 points after just 18 games. Big Barry once again in the top 3 in goal scorers, and James Garner sitting joint top in terms of assists. As I said, I love this man. I tip him to be in the 2026 England squad, and here on FM, he has 2 caps for England. Come on! Tommy Tickles is understanding the James Garner hype, and he's a leading Premier League midfielder now. I don't know what it is about him. Ever since he played at Manchester United, I've always loved him. I think he's an incredible midfielder, and it's great to see him actually get caps in England on FM as well. As I said, playing more games together and trying to really get the team gelling has massively helped this season. Coyote and Kubo getting that nice green line down the right-hand side. Asnou and Fofana gone from broken orange to orange, and Esteve and De Bruyne going from broken orange to medium yellow, I think that colour is. So some good link-up play happening in the midfield. In terms of some of our signings and some of the new signings which have come into the side, Carlos Alcaraz, 10 games, 4 goals so far as a rotational player. Javi Rodriguez, 3 games off the bench, 2 goals, a goal-scoring centre-back, let's say. James Garner with the most games playing with this sort of average rating at 7.22, Ndidi a 7.2, Esteve a 7.16, Coyote a 7.13, Dwight McNeil a 7.07, Mikalenko a 7.05, Barry a 7, and Mark Travers a 7 when he has played as well. In terms of Andy Diouf, 9 games for him, a 6.84. Sadly isn't actually progressing that well, wants to leave the club already due to playing in defensive midfield. I think as a role that suits him really well, but he also thinks he can play up front with 7 finishing. So maybe I don't know Andy Diouf very well. Malik Fofana, 8 goal contributions. Remember, just 20 years of age and now progressing into a top tier winger. As I said, this team just needs a year or 2 to grow, and it will be battling for a European spot. And that's exactly where we stand right now on the 27th of December. So let's zoom on to March and see if that dream is still available. Well, in January, we kicked things off at the new Bramley Moore Park Stadium with a 0-0 draw against Liverpool. And then sadly, we lost in the FA Cup third round to Villa and lost both games to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. But it's not the end of the world. We did beat Manchester United 1-0, and then the month of February go unbeaten, beating Leeds, Chelsea, Palace and Brighton, and only drawing to Bournemouth and Manchester City. So while we are out of all cup competitions, our Premier League form is absolutely dangerous. We are still in the hunt for a top 4 place, and some would say a very, very minor chance at winning the league. 14 points with 10 games to go. Maybe impossible, but you never know. One thing I do want to say is there is a clear dominance in the Premier League of big strikers with pace that can score goals. Barry, top goal scorer, Fulkrug second, Haaland third, and Isak in 4th place. James Garner now top of the assist charts with 10, and actually we're not winning the league, are we? Because Mbappe's at Manchester City, and I didn't see that. He scored 9 goals in 22 games after a £261 million transfer. So we'll write off the league, shall we? Because there's no way we win that. We are purely going for top 4. West Ham United are the team that I think will bottle it as they currently sit in 3rd place. Chelsea, Spurs and Liverpool are the teams we are also contending with. United and Arsenal close behind, just 2 points away as well. And we're already on that magic 40 points tally. In fact, already 47 with a 17 goal difference. So we have absolutely turned around this Everton side in 18 months, and it's now the final 3 months. The big time of the season, the time where you really become a hero to see if we can get Champions League football with Everton in just 2 seasons using David Moyes' tactics. Before we see that again, if I can just ask that you legends smash a like on this video, it helps me out massively. And if you have enjoyed it and you've got to this point, you might as well smash the like button. In the run-in to the end of the season, we faced both Arsenal and Spurs, 2 teams we had to beat to see if we could get top 4. And to be honest, Spurs kind of gave us this victory. An own goal against Dragusin gets us off to a great start. You never guess what? Another own goal, this time by Pedro Porro, to give us a 2-goal lead in the 53rd minute. And Adam Asnou, the brand new left back, scores once again from that left wing position as he beats his man and puts it in the bottom corner. Arsenal, though, was going to be a much tougher test. And it's going to be Declan Rice, the corner taker, who gives them the early lead in this game to make it 1-0 in 5 minutes. But we zoom on to the 80th minute, where McNeil finds a ball through to Tiano Barry, who spins his man and blasts it in to the bottom corner to make it 1-1. And in the 95th minute, to all but secure Champions League football, Takefusa Kubo whips it in, and Jarrad Branthwaite scores the header as Everton secure Champions League football. Thanks to that victory, we finish in 4th place. The win against Spurs got us 2 points ahead of them, and that victory against Arsenal secured a 4-point difference. Tiano Barry grabbed 26 goals in the Premier League alone, becoming the Premier League's top goal scorer. We finish in 4th place, 1 point behind West Ham United, but securing Champions League football. An unbelievable season where we scored the most goals in the league, scoring 80 and not conceding too many, more than the top 8 where we finished in 4th. So that's not a great stat. In fact, we conceded a grand total of 54 goals. The defence, something to look at if you guys are picking this up on the Patreon to go and improve. But what an improvement we have had this season. Barry, I mean, I've tipped him to be an absolute bagsman at Everton this season. He's my FPL striker along with Erling Haaland and Dominic Solanke, because I think this guy really could take the Premier League by storm. In this save already, he's wanted by some top tier clubs like Manchester City, Aston Villa, AC Milan, AS Roma and RB Leipzig. But if you guys are picking this up, make Tiano Barry a Ballon d'Or winner. That has been the Everton rebuild. We have taken them from a slight resurgence under David Moyes to being a Champions League side in just 2 seasons. It has been an absolutely fantastic journey. We have used fully realistic tactics using the David Moyes way, as you can see on screen right now. And as I said, this save file, these tactics are all going to be available on the Patreon down below. So help support your boy out. Head down to the Patreon down below. If you're an Everton fan, grab yourself some fantastic tactics and save files, and make sure you're smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel. And I'll speak to you guys next time.